In this video, we'll be having a look at the top 5 best Linux distributions for software developers and coders. And I've got some really awesome ones here that will take your software development adventure to the next level. Windows and macOS are okay for average consumers. Browsing, some office work and other day-to-day usage. That's it. They are dumbed down systems that ensure that anybody can use them. But when it comes to power users, only Linux offers the customization capabilities, advanced features, performance, and literally full control over your system. But there are hundreds of Linux distros. Don't know which one to choose? You come to the right place, my friend, because today I'm presenting the top 5 best Linux distributions for software professionals. As a software developer myself, I've tried and tested many Linux distros. I've compared the pros and the cons, checked out the features that make certain distros most suitable in development environments, and I've created the list of top 5 ultimate Linux distros for software developers. From beginner-friendly options to advanced systems with endless customization, these Linux distributions are tailor-made for programmers of all levels. I'm not exaggerating when I say they'll revolutionize the way you work and boost your productivity to the max. So buckle up and get ready to meet your new favorite Linux distro. Having a strong foundation of Linux commands and shell scripting is one of the best career booster skills a software developer can have. It sets you apart from other software developers. So definitely check out my course Linux Mastery Express, which will take your Linux game to the next level fast. I'll teach you a set of commands that will give you the confidence to use Linux without even a graphical interface. Then we'll dive deep and learn how to use the V editor and master shell scripting with real examples. After teaching more than 100 students in person, I've curated the top things that will level up your Linux knowledge the fastest, the things that will make the most difference. So if you're feeling like your Linux game is stuck in the same spot for too long and you're ready to take your Linux skills to the next level quickly, check out the link in the description below and get your Linux mastery right now. Alright, starting off, we have Popos by System 76 on the number 5 spot. Popos is a Ubuntu-based Linux distribution that brings a lot of things to the table when we are talking about development and productivity. Baked-in tiling manager, custom desktop environment, phenomenal performance right out of the box, and so many things set Popos a level above. Popos is made by hardware manufacturer System 76 and it is a very high-quality operating system that is aimed specifically at software professionals and has many supporting features. Firstly, Popos promotes a productivity-oriented workflow with its Cosmic Desktop environment. Now, Cosmic Desktop is tailor-made for development work. This desktop provides us a fast launcher, which is my way of doing things. Then there's application and workspace switcher, which will keep all your running apps organized nicely. Work and play don't mix and jumble here. Then there's an app grid. Now personally, I never use the app grid or app menu on any operating system on my desktop. I always use the search to quickly get what I want. Here, we get just the thing for that. You have a fast and minimal launcher that lets you open apps without overly distracting your workflow. On GNOME desktop, if you press the Windows button to search for something, all your working windows go flying, which can be very distracting at times. Here, this little app gets that job done. Popos also has a sweet tiling manager. Now, tiling windows are one of the best things that can happen to your productivity. I work with multiple applications open at the same time and this feature really shoots up how much work you can get done. One click here and all your running windows style up perfectly. And this is completely configurable. With so much fine control here, you can make this work just the way you want. Tiling windows are great when you're coding, learning something, and this just streamlines that multi-application work. And to go back, just turn it off here. The UI here is so user-friendly. You may be a Linux newcomer or an experienced Linux user. You'll get comfortable here very fast. Secondly, Popos makes the lives of developers very easy by providing many software packages and libraries directly here. Popos is Ubuntu based, so it gets all its software packages and libraries from Ubuntu repositories. Additionally, Popos developers make many more packages and libraries available through their own repositories. This lets you install anything you want directly here, either through the software store or the terminal. Now for developers who are unfamiliar with Linux, package managers let you install all the software, IDEs, libraries and other packages directly. No going on websites, downloading and configuring everything manually, none of that. And Popos Pop Shop is a great software store. Anything you want can be installed easily here. Thirdly, Popos is very easy to install and get started with. The installer is very simple and beginner friendly. And Popos also comes with all the drivers pre-installed. Yes sir. Popos is available in 2 variants mainly. If you have an NVIDIA GPU, download the NVIDIA one, and if you have Intel integrated or AMD GPU, get the other one. This will make sure that no matter what hardware you have, you're getting the best possible performance out of your hardware immediately out of the box. No configuration hassle here. And Popos itself is a very high performance system with its own System 76 scheduler which delivers amazing performance. Well, I could go on about Popos for a long time. It's really that good. If you're absolutely new to Linux and want a beginner friendly yet powerful system, Popos is something that you'll absolutely love. On the number 4 spot, we have the professional's top choice, Fedora. Fedora is one of the most popular Linux distros and it comes from the Red Hat camp. Linux enthusiasts and software professionals tend to choose Fedora because of its place in the Red Hat system. Fedora is upstream in the Red Hat Enterprise Linux development process. All the packages and features that Fedora gives its users eventually make their way into Red Hat Enterprise Linux. This gives developers early access to all the tech that will end up powering their solutions. So you get to play with the libraries and tools that will be available to others down the line. So with Fedora, you get a tactical advantage over your competitors as well as your colleagues. You know what's going to get deprecated, what new features something is going to get way before they end up in Red Hat Enterprise Linux, Rocky or Alma Linux way before everybody else. And that's going to make you very valuable. Fedora is also way simpler compared to Red Hat Enterprise Linux. Fedora comes with the latest stock GNOME. While Red Hat family is enterprise oriented, Fedora is a personal computing phenomenon. It comes with stock GNOME, which is one of the finest ways of using a computer. This system makes your desktops and laptops look absolutely stunning. Trust me, one look at your screen and people are going to look again. It's also easy to use. Windows or the super button is the central control button here. Want to open the app menu? Double tap the Windows button. Want to search for apps or files? Tap the Windows button. Want to switch between apps or change workspaces? Windows button. Enjoying this video? The subscribe button. Once you get a hang of using this system using both mouse and keyboard, your productivity is going to skyrocket. Fedora also has a great package availability for software development work. All the major languages, frameworks, libraries are available here. Fedora also has a very rigorous testing process. Packages are made available here only after extensive testing. This ensures that everything works and you don't have to waste time trying to figure out why something is not working instead of getting some meaningful work done here. This is one huge advantage of working on Linux instead of Windows. Everything you install works because people have made sure of that, then made it available here. For a more desktop-centric experience, Fedora also gives us full FlatHub access. You can directly install any app you want in Flatpak format directly from the software store here. These apps bring all their dependencies along with them, so they work flawlessly without any issues here. Fedora also has a release cycle that is fantastic for software professionals. Now we software professionals, we need access to new tech, new packages, and generally the newest of everything, but we also need stability. A new version of Fedora rolls out every 6 months with the newest of everything. Each version will be supported for 13 months, so you get that wiggle room. This ensures that you are getting shiny new versions of everything while also being considerate of your money-making applications. This compared to something that updates continuously is way more reliable. And it hits that sweet spot between being cutting edge as well as being dependable. Fedora is made for software developers. It's in that Red Hat system where your project might end up being deployed. But Fedora comes with that desktop user first vision. And it's a very high quality product that is made by the community. So I highly recommend this for all software professionals. Definitely check this one out. If you're ready to take it all to the next level, I have a very special Linux distro for you. Arch Linux is a cutting-edge, minimal and highly customizable operating system that requires a certain level of Linux knowledge to get started with and use. Many advanced Linux users and professionals choose to use Arch Linux because of these reasons. While Arch Linux definitely feels intimidating when starting off, it really starts feeling as the simpler option once you start getting comfortable with it. All the Linux distributions on this list are very easy to get started with and come with simple graphical installers. But Arch Linux comes with absolutely nothing. All you get is a working Linux terminal. Now the Linux terminal, it happens to be one of the most powerful things under the sun if you know how to use it properly. So check out my Express Linux workshop link in the description below. Arch Linux takes digital minimalism to a whole level. You cherry pick what all software, libraries, features and desktops you want and build a completely personalized system with Arch Linux. You choose how your desktop looks, what software it has. If you don't need a video player, fine, leave it out. You also cherry pick what all features your computer has. This lets you build a lean system that has everything you want and nothing that you don't want. Now that is a system that you can truly call your own. Arch Linux is also a fast-rolling, cutting-edge Linux distro. You'll be getting all the new software versions and features before anybody else. You don't need to wait for the next version of Arch Linux to get shiny new stuff. You'll be getting updates on a daily basis and your system will be up to date all the time. Of course, you're not forced to update daily here. You can update at your convenience. Arch Linux has a huge community which maintains the packages. You get access to a huge software repository of latest and well-tested packages here. Anything you want can be easily installed here. Arch's package manager, Pacman, is very robust and handles dependency stuff very smoothly. And it gives you a reliable operating system even through all this cutting-edge stuff. With Arch, you also get access to the Arch user repositories, which is the largest pool of Linux software of all. It lets you install anything that's made for Linux very conveniently. Arch user repository is a huge advantage for software developers, as finding and installing some niche stuff can sometimes be a headache. You need to get the exact version of dependencies, which might have their own dependencies, which never works out anyway. With Arch user repositories, you can breeze through such issues as all these things are handled automatically here. Installing Arch Linux might not be very beginner friendly, but it is a learning process and is very satisfying. You get to learn a lot about how operating systems work and get a deep understanding of Linux, which is a very valuable meta skill for software professionals. Arch Linux has also released a much simpler automated installer recently, and if you want to get an Arch system but you're not comfortable going through the installation, you can check out Endeavour OS. Arch Linux is for the brave of us and is more than worth it. Definitely check it out. The second spot on this list gets captured by everybody's favorite, Ubuntu. Ubuntu is the world's most popular Linux distribution with millions of users. I wouldn't be wrong in saying that Ubuntu pioneered desktop Linux for the masses. Dubbed Linux for humans, Ubuntu has distinct advantages for everybody, vastly more so for software professionals. Ubuntu gives us a modified GNOME desktop that's not only just amazing to look at but also ridiculously simple to use. Ubuntu adds its hallmark side panel to stock GNOME and it makes everything better. While I love stock GNOME that we saw in Fedora, I've gotten very used to this side panel, and for me, this dock is a huge productivity booster. App launching and app switching especially become effortlessly easy with this. When you're working on multiple apps at the same time, you'll really appreciate this dock. This one change significantly improves your productivity. Ubuntu, as the most popular Linux distro, also has a wide range of software availability. The Ubuntu software repositories contain a huge number of packages, and anything you want can be installed here directly from the official source. In software development, across all domains, all the tools and packages are generally tested on and built for Ubuntu. It receives the best support from all software vendors. So when you want to install and get something working here, you'll find that things are much smoother compared to other Linux distros. Ubuntu also has its own unified package manager called Snap. Now this is a smash hit in the developer community because of how simple it is. We all know how important particular versions can be and how bad a dependency hell can get. With Snaps, you install containerized applications that bring all the dependencies and libraries packaged along with them. They don't depend on anything external for them to work. So these snaps work the same on all Linux distros. But it works on my computer is not something that you'll get to hear again, because with snaps, it works on all computers. I have great experience with snaps in my development work. Setting up your development environment gets so simple here. Ubuntu is also very stable. There are multiple versions of Ubuntu available at any time, and if you're new to Linux, you want to get the LTS version. LTS stands for long-term support, and these are very reliable systems that have a support period of 5+ years. Ubuntu LTS versions undergo thorough testing and all the packages here are very stable. With Ubuntu, everything works and you get a very solid platform for your work. Install it once and forget about it. Ubuntu also has a very large community. In fact, this community is one of the biggest strengths of Ubuntu. Any issue or doubts you may have can be easily solved by following the beginner-friendly guides online, and they have a ton of these. How-to articles, troubleshooting guides, hardware-specific issues, they are available adequately and they are high quality as well. This really simplifies life with Ubuntu because you don't feel alone here. And if you have a question that's not already answered, check out the Ask Ubuntu forums. All these things make Ubuntu a great option for anybody who's just starting off with Linux. If you're new to this, just go with Ubuntu and you'll be taken care of. With Ubuntu, there's no hassle. Install it, set it up, and get your work done. Really, you couldn't go wrong with Ubuntu. Major points. On the number 1 spot, we have a very special Linux distro that brings the best of both worlds, cutting edge tech and ease of use. OpenSUSE Tumbleweed is a rolling release Linux distro that is one of the highest quality Linux distros we have. OpenSUSE is undeniably one of the biggest names in the Linux world. Used by advanced users in development environments and servers extensively, OpenSUSE provides a very refined and robust computing experience. OpenSUSE offers two editions, Leap and Tumbleweed. Leap is a point-release stable version. Leap is pretty amazing, but today we are interested in Tumbleweed. Now Tumbleweed is a bleeding edge rolling release that comes with some phenomenal benefits. You get the latest and greatest of all the tech. As soon as a new package version is released, it is tested, packaged and pushed to the users. This ensures you're not missing out on any new features or technology. Everything is new, always. Now you might compare Tumbleweed to Arch Linux, since that too is a bleeding edge rolling release. But there are some crucial differences between the two. Installation, testing process, software availability, the overall experience, and even the core design and philosophical principles are significantly different in both these distributions. Arch is more of a do-it-yourself project, while OpenSUSE has that professional touch. OpenSUSE Tumbleweed provides you all the desktop environments during installation. You can choose from GNOME, KDE Plasma, XFCE, and pretty much everything there is to choose from. This gives you the freedom to use OpenSUSE with an UI that you enjoy. One of the biggest selling points of OpenSUSE and SUSE Enterprise Linux is YAST. YAST is OpenSUSE's comprehensive control center, and it's a very powerful tool. No other Linux distribution has such a versatile and powerful administrative software. You install OpenSUSE with YAST, you install software and manage them with YAST, you configure and control everything with YAST. When I say everything, I mean everything. YAST is also super user-friendly. With this simple graphical interface, it's easy for both experienced Linux users and newcomers to get the most out of their systems. It's modular and gives you control in a way that you can handle it. Everything is neatly organized here. Linux newcomers as well as experienced Linux users will appreciate this. Most of these settings can be directly accessed from the dash. Bleeding edge distros can be very intimidating as well as cumbersome for people who are new to them. YAST makes using a bleeding edge distro very pleasant as it truly gives you control, and in case something goes wrong, you know you can solve the issue with a few clicks. Well, most of the time. OpenSUSE Tumbleweed also has amazing software availability and management. As I said, you can use the YAST tool to install and manage packages on your system, and under the hood, everything is managed by the Zipper Package Manager, which is amazingly robust with some innovative tech. And there are more than 100,000 packages in the official repositories. You can find pretty much anything you want here. Search in YAST and it is presented to you in a second. I was pleasantly surprised when I found even lesser known software here. Now let's talk about the dependability. Bleeding edge rolling release is not a term that's necessarily synonymous with stability. Fast updating packages do introduce an element of volatility. While this can be mitigated by maintaining proper backups, it is still more work when you compare it to something like Debian Stable. I'm not gonna deny that. But OpenSUSE is made for system admins, developers and other professionals. This makes it imperative that OpenSUSE be a high quality product that's also exceedingly reliable. And that is what exactly OpenSUSE is. OpenSUSE Tumbleweed packages undergo extensive testing. All the packages coexist very harmoniously here without breakage, and Zipper itself is very good at handling dependencies and stuff. And if something goes wrong, we have a fantastic tool called Snapper here. With Snapper, you can roll back your system to key moments before you either install or update something or make any changes through YAST. There, OpenSUSE got you covered. You need to configure this, then snapshots can be accessed from YAST. Overall, OpenSUSE Tumbleweed really puts the power of Linux in your hand. Yeah, you need to get familiar with the system here, especially YAST, but that's that. With OpenSUSE, you don't need to get into the Linux commands quantum realm to know how to get the basics done. And that's the highlight here. OpenSUSE with the SUSE Enterprise Linux is deeply integrated with various cloud services providers. So all your experience with your system translates over as an advantage professionally. Definitely give this one a try. Linux for development, it feels like Linux was made for this. Now I know some people have problems gaming on Linux, some have problem editing videos on Linux, some have problem with photo editing software, but when it comes to development, Linux is a first-class citizen. IDEs, programming languages provide top-tier support to Linux, and it's just better here. If you're coming from Windows, yeah, initially you'll feel that things are done differently here, but soon you'll start feeling things are better here. Definitely give these distros a try, and if you have any questions, doubts, feel free to shoot a comment below. Do check out my course Linux Mastery Express, which is the fastest way to level up your Linux skills right from the ground up. Alright, if you enjoyed this video, if you found it helpful, do consider subscribing to the channel and leave me a big thumbs up. This is Linux Techs, signing out.